Hi, welcome to Thomas Turner Fishing Antiques, and today we're looking specifically at Sharpe's Impregnated rods. Now, because Sharpe's are from Aberdeen, I've especially today put on my Polo Ralph Lauren McBride tartan shirt, and if I get a bit Scottish, well, you need to do your best to understand me. We've got 4 rods here, of which one of them is quite special. The Impregnated series basically was the varnish, it's almost vacuumed into the rod. What that does is, apart from giving the rod a matte finish on the outside, other than the high gloss of some of the standard varnish ones, it makes them a little bit steely by feel. Beautiful action, they do last well. These rods can be anywhere from 20, 30, 40 years old and they're still in fabulous condition. One in particular we look at to start with, this is the Royal Tribute. This is 1981, a limited edition series of rods made for the wedding of Charles and Diana. This is number 299 out of the series, and interestingly it's handwritten on the blank here J. Ashley Cooper. So whether it's J. Ashley Cooper, author of the Salmon books, or whether it's another J. Ashley Cooper, I don't know, but it's certainly a rare name, so it may have a little additional historical interest attached to this rod. This is an 8'7" rod, 5'6" weight, beautifully presented. The hardware and fittings on it are a bronze over a wood reel seat, standard cork handle, and it has a keeper ring in there for when you're wandering about the fly. Whipped in blue, tipped in red, super condition. It has been used very lightly, and interestingly it's what's termed a staggered ferrule. So the two sections are not the same length. This section, the butt section, is shorter, and if I gently pull the suction plug out, you'll see instead of having a little wooden stopper, it's got a considerably longer split cane blank. That's two reasons. The shorter spliced section on this moves the ferrule down, and what it does is it takes away any flat spot in the rod, or to a great degree it takes away the flat spot. But because the tip section is sticking up longer, if you imagine the tip section in a bag, it would be about 5-6 inches longer, and it would easily break. There is an extension split cane ferrule plug, beautifully made, which attaches in, so that when the rod's in its bag you've no worries of the tip section being broken. Another unusual impregnated rod, retailed through Farlows, it's got the Farlows logo here on the butt section, is the Wilson International. We rarely see these. This is tipped in, whipped in blue, tipped in yellow. Unusual rod, 8'3", this one, and it's on a 5'6" line again. Once again it's a staggered ferrule, but the staggering, if you like, is lower down the rod, so the ferrule plug section is even longer. So if we pop this out, you can see the length of that. Again, so that's moving the ferrule down, taking away the flat spot in the rod's action, and protecting the tip when it's in the bag. So that's your standard ferrule extender. Just as a note on that, we had a call from a chappie who was stuck up some hills, and he had a 15-foot rod and he couldn't get it to bits. The thing not to do when you're taking ferrules on rods is to grab the rod, grab the thing and twist it, especially on a cane rod, because you will release or break the bonding between the cane sections and you'll damage it. And so what we suggested he'd done was he had a flask of hot coffee with him. He took a top off, put a rag around the ferrule, and he poured the hot coffee over the female section of the ferrule. And what that does is it swells the ferrule just enough to get one hand here, and pull straight, and the rod came to bits, and he could get it in the car and come home. So that was a Thomas Turner top tip on top of the mountain. So he's a happy bunny. Moving back to the rods, we have a very famous Fario club here. Again, Sharpe's Impregnated cane. This is beautifully whipped in a lime green with burgundy. It's got the Farlow logo here on the butt section. The length of this one is 8'5", so we've got another length. Again, it's 5'6" rating on it. Again, it's a staggered ferrule. Pop that along the end. You see there's a beautiful light coloured cane. This is just a lovely, lovely rod. Hardly been used, I would suggest, maybe once or twice. It's been well looked after. It has a full cork handle on it with the lightweight screw fittings which became popular in Sharpe's life. Everything to do to release the weight. This is a screw down fitting. That's beautiful condition. And finally, for the traditionalists, we have another impregnated, the standard Aberdeen, which was made for a long time. Great rod. This was retailed through Farlows with their association. Whipped in burgundy, as nearly all of them are, and this has the standard bronze suction ferrule with it, with the little pop stopper in the end, like a chess piece. Beautifully made. This is a 3-piece. This one has a 9-foot length with a 6 line. Nice for trout, light sea trout, very light grills fishing. In the price range, you're probably talking around 100 mark-ish, maybe a little bit more for a standard 3-piece. More for the Impregnated and more for the limited edition like the Royal Tribute. So great rods, collectible rods. They'll last forever if they're looked after. And to go with them, Sharpe's did make some alloy reels which do stand the test of time. These are all the Sharpe's Gordon model. You can see minor differences in the screw shapes and the screw designs. One's nickel, one is brass. Interestingly, they've got reverse taper handles on them, which is great if you're fishing in the wet. There is a tendency, if you have a parallel taper, that your hand slips off it when they're wet, but with reverse taper they don't. So they didn't have these in all the reels, but I reckon that was a great selling point that they should have kept for most of the years. The Gordons are named on the back. They're actually stamped and engraved and then back filled, and then they generally come in a grey finish. The hard wearing, great collectible reels. And just as a little oddball, we don't see so many of these. This is a little variant of the Gordon. This is a 3 1/2, 3 1/8. So it's a narrow drum trout. Most of them are in the narrow drum series, like so, like so, like so. And if you see a Sharpe's with a W in the end, the W is for the wide series, which is almost twice its width. So this is a great little reel. It's a little different from the rest of your Sharpe's Gordon reels. It will command more money because it's rarely seen. Nice to use, lovely smooth click. Doesn't have the taper handle, but it's only 3 inch, so you're not going to have a Marcia running with it anyway. So good collectibles for today, good collectibles for tomorrow, all very usable, and once again, you can trade against them, up or down, and we're happy to hear from you if you have rods similar to this to sell. I'm John Stephenson, I'm the guy you'll talk to on the phone, so give us a call or drop us an email and let's see if we can do a deal. Thanks.